All right. Hey, what's happening out there? Uh, it's John, and welcome to my Trailer Made in the 80s podcast. What we're going to do here, I'm just going to talk some shit, share some stories, maybe do some virtual interviews, take questions via, messages, social media, things like that. This is all kind of leading up to the release of the book I've been writing of the same name, Trailer Made in the 80s, Memoirs of a Teenage Delinquent. Me. And yeah, so let me back up a little. The book I'm writing, Trailer Made in the 80s, is actually, well, they're my memoirs, kind of part of an autobiographical series of books that I plan to write. This is the first in the series. This is going to encompass my life in the 80s between the ages of 12 and 18. The reason why I'm doing that is those were years I lived in the quintessential upstate New York trailer park, Paisley Village. And it was during these years of extreme delinquency. I learned how to live, learned how to survive, learned what not to do, learned yeah, learned tons of lessons and shit. Um I was a bully, I was bullied, used to fight, do a lot of drugs, you know, all those things. And it all occurred or all went down in this trailer park for the most part, which was Paisley Village. And it was like I said, quintessential trailer park, you know, back in the day. You think of trailer parks, the first thing that most people, the thing that your mind conjures for a lot of people is, broke down cars in the driveways, dirty, low income, rednecky. My experience, it was all true, all of it. I would definitely say I grew up a scumbag, dirtball. Never really had much, you know. Mom did best she could, I mean, it was the fucking 80s. You know, if you lived through the 80s and thrived in the 80s, then you know what I'm talking about. Um, it was a crazy fucking time. It was a crazy fucking time, especially for me and my friends. Um, Looking back on it now, I think I was one of the cool kids. Back then, I was just trying to fucking survive. I was just trying to fucking survive. I really had no ambition, no vision of the future. Um, Me and my friends just looking to chase skirts and get fucked up, whatever that entailed. Was it, scoring a bag of weed off my buddy Murray's older sister's boyfriend, Joe Skins? Yo, Joe Skins, rest in peace, brother. Um, Stealing beers or, weed from our parents or, you know, dropping acid that, Murray would find, on the ground at SPAC, or whatever the fucking case was. I mean, we were game. We were game. It was all about the fucking fun. Um, that's why we were in it. We were in it for fun, to distract from, our own shit, you know. It was just me and my mom and my sister living in a single wide trailer at the time. Uh, Murray was living in a single wide trailer with, his mom, his stepdad, four sisters. I mean, you know, you're that tight with people physically, or in that, in that small of an area, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about other people. You learn a lot of things you don't want to learn. But they also get to know you, like every piece of you, and it becomes like this big fucking family. This big motley fucking family. It's a motley crew, and you just look out for each other, you know, um, as best you can, as best you know how. And that's where that's how I came up, you know. Um, my mom did the best she could. She was an RN, my whole life. She was an RN. She never did anything other than be an RN, stable. With her career, there wasn't an awful lot to go around, Uh, I think she did the best she could, especially with me being such a fucking fool. Delinquent. If I was an adult, I would have been a criminal. He's just, you put that fun little D word on it when you're a kid, but yeah, I was a fucking criminal. Um, in a lot of different ways, nothing big and important, but definitely broke the law, got in trouble. I think my reputation back then, at least when it came to my friends' parents, was a little stronger than the reality. Some of my friends weren't allowed to hang around with me. Oh, that fucking Johnny Kiernan guy. He's a fucking scumbag delinquent. So I wasn't exactly invited over to some of their parents or some of their trailers for dinner, which that's fine too, you know. Um, but I'd still, to this day consider those guys and girls, friends, because we've had those shared trauma experiences, and you gain a certain level of understanding the older you get, that shit that happened back then. I mean, when you're a kid, a lot of things just happen out of necessity, and yeah, you do the best you can.